Hi everyone, my name is Ali Petrizzi and I'm a senior graphic design student at Penn College. On behalf of AIGA, I'll be sharing a Skillshare today regarding Adobe XD components, particularly using components within navigation menus. So as you'll see on my screen here, I do have stuff already designed. I just copied and pasted this from my senior project app design, which I'm currently working on. So I always have a components artboard, and I like to do that way I can always navigate to the master component, which I'll talk about in a bit. But what we really want to do here is focus on this navigation menu and make it so that the user knows what page they are on. So we need one of these pages to be dominant depending on where the user is in your app. So to make this a component, I'm going to highlight this entire navigation area. And on the right-hand side here, you'll see where it says component. You can click on this plus sign to make a component. And the first thing I always do is I name these components. That way my layers on the left here are still organized. So I made this a component and it's in its default state right now. Because I just made this right now, this is the master component. You know that because it says it right here, but you also know that because this is filled in solid, this diamond shape here. So you want to make sure that anytime you're making an edit, you want to do it within the master. So that way it, when you make a change, you'll see that change throughout anywhere else you place this component. So let's make our first state. I'm going to hit this plus sign over here. Again, we still have that component selected, and add a state and a new state. And this is going to be a to-do. So we're making a state for every change that we have happen. I'm just going to show you two examples. So this to-do is going to be for the to-do page. Now let's make one for the calendar page. I always make sure to click on the default state to make sure that that is the parent to the state I'm about to make. So I'm going to hit the plus sign again, new state, and this one is going to be the calendar. So they all look like the default state right now. So let's start with the to-do list. I selected the to-do list on the right here, and you want to make sure it's selected before you start editing because this area here will actually disappear. So to-do list is selected, so let's make it so that these other bars that are not above the to-do list disappear. So I'm going to double click in and I'm going to hit delete for all of these bars above the other menu icons. And then I'm going to click on these other navigation icons and I'm going to lower their opacity to 50%. So now you can see that the to-do is definitely dominant in this state. So I'm going to click out and click back in, and you'll see that we were working in the to-do state. Click back to the default, and it still looks just like the default that we started with. Now I'm going to click into calendar, and I'm going to do the same thing for calendar that I did to to-do, where I get rid of these other bars above the other menu icons. And then I'm going to click on the other navigation icons and lower their opacity to 50%. So if I click out and then click back in again, calendar is here, to-do list looks like this, and default state is still default state. I always put my components back into their default state just to be safe and make sure I'm not like messing anything up. So now that we made this component and we made two of the states, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this component and hit Command-C on my keyboard to copy it. Then I'm going to click on these other artboards and hit Command-V to paste it, and Command-V to paste it again. Now, since this is the to-do artboard, we want the to-do to be dominant, so I'm going to click on to-do state, the to-do state. Now you'll see that these are not solid filled because this component here on this artboard is an instance of the master component, which is over here. So this is just an instance. So then now that this shows it's a to-do, let's go to the calendar and we're going to click on calendar in the states, and now we know that it has the calendar state. So in a nutshell, that is how you work with Adobe XD components, particularly for navigation menus. Be sure to like this video and share it, and let us know in the comments below if you have any requests for future Skillshares. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.